knowing doesn't love somebody in comedy that didn't have some attachment in some way to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Whether they were launched there, whether they were seen there, whether they played there, whether they work out there, and that's where they put together their Netflix special. Everybody. Joe Rogan, is a product of the Comedy Store.
I was just on his podcast this last week, and I played his club. I know you played it as well, and
The Mothership.
Yeah, the Mothership in Austin, and like you said, what he's doing out there is remarkable. He's in a lot of it. Has to do with my mom.
Let's be honest, okay? All due respect. I'm going to start off by saying that because I don't want no smoke from you-know-who. But let's keep it a buck. This woman, Mitzi Shore, maybe, okay. At one point, she was the it, right? At one point, going through her club could make or break you. This is a fact. This is known to the comedy community. But it's also known that some of the greats never went through that channel. And now, the more I hear the stories about Mitzi, I think she was a little senile. After a certain amount of time, I think the marbles were loose. Now, maybe at the time of Richard Pryor when he was in his heyday and Sam Kinnis was running around living up in the Hollywood Hills and you had all this type of, stuff going on in the background, allegedly. J.J. Walker, Jay Leno, these are the times of greatness. But then it went. What happened after that era? They said the early 90s and the early 2000s, the Comedy Store is where the degenerates went. Where the degenerates went. I don't remember seeing some of my greats, some of my best comedians, some of the people that I followed. I didn't see them on the Comedy Store stage. I saw them trying to get on the Hollywood Improv. The night at the Improv, I remember seeing that in Lights. I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing late night talk shows and having stand-up comedians come up there. But I never was like, oh my God, the Comedy Store. As I became a comedian, I realized that is one place where a lot of people came through. So I paid homage to that just in general. Just showing respect. But for me, I think now that I know more of the history, if Mitzi Shore told Joe Rogan that he was funny, she was delusional. At that point in her career, she must have been losing her marbles. Because we all know Joe is not that. Joe is a conversationalist. He can laugh within conversation. But when it comes to being a stand-up, bro, that nigga's a fear factor. Or that nigga's a commentator. That nigga is not a stand-up. I've watched multiple of his stand-up. That nigga doesn't do it for me. So I think she was losing her marbles then. And of course, there was a bunch of degenerates running around. And this is what I've noticed. Like, when you get to a certain level as a club, you let the fucking club run itself, especially if it's making money. You let it run itself, and you let the degenerates or the prisoners in the asylum run the show. And that could be detrimental to the club if you don't have FU money. And Rogan has FU money, so it doesn't matter. The minions will take care of all of the issues and the problems and save, the big guy or the big little guy from having to deal with it. But it's happening again. Now I feel that Rogan is senile. To think that William Montgomery is a good comic, you have to be losing your marbles. But at 60, I think that's when it starts to decline. Especially he's using all these peptides, allegedly, steroids, allegedly, Alpha Brain, allegedly. All of these things are supposed to help him live longer, but guess what? Father Time has never been beaten. Maybe not forever, but right now, Father Time loses. So, I think that Mitzi gets the credit that she deserves, but there was a lot of things that were going on behind the scenes that we really don't talk about. And that's in every story, right? Like, allegedly, she was fucking the comics. Yep. Allegedly giving people opportunities for tearing that old gray pussy up. This is word on the street. Don't blame the messenger, nigga. I'm just telling you what is a word on the street. You know, there's people that unalive themselves within that building or outside that building or around that building. So there's history there. It's not all freaking pretty pinks and roses or whatever you want to call it. It's just the truth. So, I mean, you're gonna you're gonna say I'm a hater, and that's fine. But just look at the mother facts. Rogan, you know, everybody's trying to praise you for doing a great job, and shout out to you, yes, for helping the scene for whatever reason, but now the scene is eating itself alive and you are the cause. Yeah, you and Tony are the cause. And until y'all clean that up, it's going to be a miserable existence here in Austin for any comic of any color. So, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'll holler at you on the next one.
Until we meet again.